everyone, this is Gary with your cards of the day, and today I'm just going to jump straight into the cards and take a slightly more direct approach than perhaps in previous readings. I do, however, have 4 decks that I'm using today. It was originally going to be 3, but I was then getting nagged an awful lot to include a 4th deck, and that's what I've done. So today we have the Aquarian Tarot by David Palladini. We have the Tarot of Vampires by Ian Daniels. We have the Golden Dawn Ritual Magic deck. And we also have the Thoth deck. And this is the deck that I was particularly being nagged to include. So our first card for today is very interesting. What we have here is the Hierophant, and this feels very much like what we're looking at today. Is we're looking at structure, we're looking at our involvement with the world around us, the people around us, institutions that we may be involved with, businesses, things of that nature. That's very much what I'm feeling here. I'm getting the sort of the Taurian energy very, very strongly from this card today. And I'm also noticing the sort of earthy tones within the picture itself, the sort of browns and oranges, which gives me that very sort of grounded feeling as well. Now, on an intuitive level, what I'm picking up as well is a lot of communication today. A lot of perhaps either meetings or emails or some form of communication back and forth, because I'm getting the blue throat chakra colour very strongly with this card. But it also feels like we are doing things with a great deal of self-esteem, self-confidence, and a real feeling of our own self-worth, and that is coming from the orange that I'm seeing here. So it feels today like we are looking at the way that we deal with the people around us in a work setting or a business setting. And we're looking at communicating with them, but doing so confidently. Really, in a sense, like the Hierophant is doing here, putting our hand up and saying, hey, we're here. So we're communicating and we're getting our own point of view across, and it becomes a dialogue with with our workplace or with the people that we're having to deal with today. Now, our second card, interestingly enough, is also from the Major Arcana. So we're beginning with 2 of them, and the thing that strikes me, we have the Moon here. And the thing that strikes me incredibly strongly about this is the fact that I've pulled this card on a Monday, the day of the moon. And I've also pulled it a matter of 2 or 3 days after we've just gone through a full moon. So this feels like a very powerful influence. And here, this is us following our gut instinct, following our intuitions, looking at things very, very closely and clearing away some of the fog, using this bowline which the lady in the card has to really cut away the fog and the mystery and see things very, very clearly today. Now, moving forward, our next card is an interesting one, because this is the Ten of Swords, and this has a tagline of ruin, which I have to say I'm a little bit uncomfortable with, because it doesn't feel ruinous. In actual fact, what I'm sensing here, and we have a card that is sun influenced, so we've had a moon and now we've got a sun. This feels very much like actually the end of a cycle of difficulties, the end of a cycle of problems, rather than being in a place of having problems. It's almost like all of these swords are being held up in triumph, that the bad stuff is finally coming to an end. And it does actually feel that I've got the Gemini influence here, does make me feel like this is something we're sharing with people. We've got a shared experience in the difficulties that we have been experiencing, and together we then move that forward into a better and brighter place. And interestingly, on an intuitive level, again, what I'm seeing here, these two features here are almost turning into two hills in front of my eyes, and where they meet in the middle, which is where the two swords cross, it's like we have a pathway leading us to the sun, which is up at the top, and we've got this brighter future coming towards us, and we're starting to be aware of it and aware of how to get there. It's very, very strongly the feeling that I have with this today. And our final card for today is very interesting indeed, because we have another 10. And I mean, what are the chances of that out of 4 decks? This one is the 10 of Pentacles and has a lot of symbols on it, but we have Mercury at the top here, and underneath here we have Virgo. And the feeling here very much is, the tagline is wealth, and indeed the Ten of Pentacles is very much a kind of being in a solid place, being very, very grounded and surrounded by abundance. But again, we have this communication element from Mercury, so it's almost as if we're sharing that around. If we ourselves are feeling good today, then we're sharing that around with other people, and we're ensuring that everybody shares in that good feeling, and we're trying to ensure that everybody is kind of lifted with us today. So there's a very, very communal feel to this kind of card today. It's almost like we're trying to be very inclusive with everyone around us, and if we have some good fortune, ensure that other people are part of that as well. So let's have a look. Interestingly enough, before I just recap, we have 2 cards from the Major Arcana, and we have 2 10s, and I think that's possibly the first time I've had that happen. So we begin with this Taurian influence of structures, of businesses and authorities and people that we're dealing with. We've got this communication element today. We're communicating with a great deal of self-confidence and a great deal of self-esteem, high self-esteem. We're feeling very good about ourselves and our ability to communicate, and the fact that we have something to contribute. We also have the moon influence, so we're following our intuition today. We're looking at things, clearing away the fog, looking at things very deeply, seeing things as they truly are. It's a very powerful influence on the day of the moon, I feel, and we're really, able to get to the nitty-gritty of everything. Then we have the 10 of Swords, which feels to me like the end of a cycle of difficulties, like we are finally starting to push through, progress through to that sun that we can now see in front of us, and we're sharing this journey with the Gemini influence. We're sharing this journey with others. Something else that's coming to me as well is we may actually be slightly in 2 minds about this, because when you're at these kind of tipping points, you're looking backwards and forwards at the same time. So there's a little bit of a feeling of we may actually be almost a little split, in so much that we've got one set of feelings about the things that are going out, and we've got a different set of feelings about the things coming in. And finally, we have the Ten of Pentacles, discs in this particular deck, indicating an abundance around us, a sort of wealth of grounded physical energy, perhaps financial, and sharing that around. Mercury again, communicating, sharing that around with other people, letting people know how we feel, letting people know that we're in a good place, and as a result, helping everyone to feel more grounded, more satisfied, and just generally stronger. So, I hope you've enjoyed these cards of the day and this, in a sense, grand square reading. Please feel free to leave me some comments and let me know how these themes interact with your day today. I certainly hope that you find your day to be as optimistic and forward-moving as it certainly feels like it will be here. Please also feel free to check out my website, www.theseerscave.webs.com, for more information about myself, my tools, and the readings that I offer. Now I want to wish everyone a really happy, grounded, abundance-filled, and successful day today, whatever you do. And love, light, blessings, and frith to you all.